Well, hey everybody, Randall and Kelly here with Echo Family Care Partners, and we thought we'd take just a minute or two to share about the connection between foster care and trafficking.
Yes.
And we've had some interactions with individuals who have experienced this, so maybe we could share a little bit, pass that on to you, and maybe invite you to get involved.
Yeah, so right out of the gate, when we were an organization just a few years old, we were referred women who were coming out of trafficking, who were either had young children or were pregnant and wanted to parent their kids. They had already been kind of flagged in the system, and what their caseworkers had said is that they're at risk of having their kids placed into foster care. What we know is isolation is the enemy, so we wrapped community around them so they would have support, and now these families are thriving. But what we know statistically and the link between trafficking and foster care is that, and these statistics have changed, but we've seen 60%, 80% and up of people that are coming out of trafficking have spent some time in foster care. The latest statistic says actually that as many as 98% of survivors of trafficking have spent some time in the state system, whether that be foster care or whatever. So we know this is a huge issue because, again, isolation is the enemy. If you don't have anyone to go after you, to watch after you, then you are at risk. In fact, there is a quote by U.S. Representative Karen Bass that just hits me. She says, every youngster that I've ever talked to who is trafficked says the same thing. They didn't come looking for me. Nobody cared. They didn't bother to come. Oh, it's just horrible. Yeah. And so what we know about foster care is that for kids who are older and aging out of foster care without a permanent family, we know that 89% of these kids will be homeless, incarcerated, addicted, pregnant, trafficked, or dead within 2 years, which is huge. And in fact, 20% of these kids who age out of foster care are immediately homeless. Right, and so we know there's connections, right? All of these things are connected, but the latest stat says that 1 in 3 homeless teens are lured by a trafficker within 48 hours of being on the streets. So if we know 20% of kids aging out of foster care are immediately homeless, what's that? I mean, those numbers are way too high for kids that are immediately lured into trafficking again because they don't have anybody. So here's why this is particularly important for the state of Virginia. As a state, we do not do a great job getting kids into a permanent family before they age out. In fact, we're 50th.
We do the worst job.
Yeah, we are 50th out of 50 states in getting kids into a permanent home, which means by the time they age out of foster care, whether they choose emancipation or they're aging out, we do the worst on making sure they're in with a permanent family. So we know statistically, we have more kids per ratio aging out of foster care, and then 89% are going to wind up within 2 years, homeless, pregnant, incarcerated, addicted, trafficked, or dead. But so many of those kids will immediately be homeless and then immediately trafficked.
And right here in our community, hard numbers. That's 30 kids every year who face that either emancipation or aging out of the system without a permanent adult in their life.
Right.
And if 30 are aging out, then a third, 10 of them every year
are trafficked within 2 days.
Within 2 days of that sort of benchmark, that transition in their life. We can make a difference for 10. We can make a difference for 30. We can make a difference across the state. It takes some effort and some awareness and some willingness to kind of move toward this situation. And so that's what we would love to invite you to come along with us. And there is more information for you on our website. We invite you to explore that and come along with us and help us make a